Hello everybody, this is The Lost Cause, bringing you a different perspective on dungeons and how they can be more relevant and perhaps even make the game even better than it already is. Dungeons as they are now are pretty much dead content. It's pretty good to do them while you're leveling up and things such as that, but a lot of people don't invest a lot of time and effort into them, especially when there's really no incentive to keep doing dungeons unless you're going for that Dungeoneer title that gives you 5 gold. It is worth saying that in Guild Wars 2, which is pretty much Fashion Wars, that there is a lot of armor and weapon skins that you can get from these dungeons to make your character look more unique. That being said, there are a lot better skins in other parts of the content, especially when it comes to legendary armor and types of ascended armor, especially like fractals. They have a lot of good looking armor and a lot of good weapon skins that are a whole lot better than anything you'll receive in a dungeon. It is also worth mentioning that you can farm gold and fractals a lot quicker than you can in dungeons as well. So how can ArenaNet capitalize on dungeons and make it content worth playing and make it in-game content that people want to play over and over again? First, the dungeons are great for getting a great story and for getting used to dungeons in the game. They serve as a great point for leveling and getting to know more about the background and lore of Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2. ArenaNet can do what they always do to capitalize on the end game of dungeons. They can just make a CM mode or a challenge mode. They could also make more achievements for the challenge mode and make better ascended weapons and armor, because as of right now you can only get exotics from dungeons. They can upgrade it to ascended, and perhaps even make a track for the legendary armor and weapons and trinkets. But why invest in the dungeons? Because the dungeons can be its own niche of the game. One, dungeons can be 5-player in-game content. I know what you're thinking. Fractals already does that. But this can be more RP or story built. Plus, you can make it different than Fractals. Maybe ArenaNet could move the CMs toward the Holy Trinity and having us to make builds towards the Holy Trinity, which would be the tank, healer, and DPS, just like other games naturally do with the dungeons. This would bring a whole nother fresh new aspect to the game that isn't in the rest of the game. I know ArenaNet doesn't want the Holy Trinity in their game, but it would only make sense to have a different type of play style in a different part of the game, just so players can experience that and they can keep that longevity in the game and keep players coming back for more. Dungeons have always had that traditional structure of I have the tank, I have the healer, and I have DPS. We could even put support in there, but it is only a 5-man team after all. I know what you're thinking. Lost, why are you even talking about this when nothing in the game is built towards a Holy Trinity? And yes, you are correct. But every class or profession when they play has to put in 3 trait lines. And in those 3 trait lines, there are 3 selections for different types of traits in those trait lines, which leaves up to 9 lines of variables. I can do another video on that if y'all would like, but ArenaNet needs to fix a lot of the way their classes are built, and it would leave a lot of room to make improvements, and you could have the Holy Trinity in every single class. Maybe I'll make a different video on that, but you don't have to have the Holy Trinity everywhere. It's basically something that could just be based off gear and the traits that you pick. Let me know what y'all think about my quick thoughts on how ArenaNet can fix dungeons and create all new content that would keep players playing for a while if they did do that. I know me as a casual would love to see dungeons brought back, and for being a casual, 5-player in-game content is something that I can get into, and it's not just fractals, because for me, raids are just a time sink that I can't get into, and fractals are really short and you can burn through those quickly. I think dungeons can be that middle ground in between those two that have 5-player content, and you can spend a little time getting the lore and stuff and do that 1 dungeon run a night or something like that. Leave your comments and thoughts below. I can definitely do more in-depth stuff, and if y'all have any more ideas, just let me know. All right, thank you, and thanks for watching.